Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Reviewified. Today we're going to reviewify Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days for PC, DVD-ROM, and Steam. Now first off, the story of this game has an English guy by the name of Glaze who asks Lynch to get involved in a high-paying job in smuggling guns to Africa. Lynch then calls Kane to help with this mission so they can earn some good cash for their retirement, and also help Kane with his estranged daughter Jenny. Even though that's just the midst of the story, it's pretty good and basically what's most enjoyable about the game. The controls in this game has you using the usual computer controls, keyboard and mouse, and you can also use the Xbox 360 controller. I know that most shooters are meant for keyboard and mouse, but this one felt built more for the Xbox 360 controller. The controls in this game were pretty good, minus the parts of the game where you had to dodge from the bullets, and you ended up swinging to different walls where sometimes you'd be left right out in front of the enemy. Now for the features in this game, there's multiple weapons in this game like the pistol, machine gun, and a shotgun. Also scattered throughout some parts of the levels is gas tanks and other explosive bottles and tanks, where you get to throw the tank and when it lands to the ground you're given the action to shoot it so it can kill more than one enemy opponent. You can also use an enemy as a shield in this game, though when I used this feature it didn't act properly and I ended up getting shot at. The health in this game is nearly like Halo. You have to hide off the screen to get your health back. The only way you're notified when your health is low is how much blood is on the screen, kinda similar to Call of Duty. The game also contains a multiplayer mode which has been untested because the PC version is basically dead, as it shows nobody playing online each time I try to connect to a server. There's also arcade mode in this game, and I think it shows how the online multiplayer would play. In arcade mode, you go through levels collecting cash and killing as many enemies as possible, and at the end of each level, you have to have the highest score out of your other opponents. This mode to me was somewhat ridiculous as there's so many opponents with you in the game, and it's hard to get the highest score. I only tried the subway level of the arcade mode, and it kind of bored me. There is also DLC in this game, which includes weapons and a multiplayer maps pack and multiplayer maps. The DLC is great, but the problem here is that nobody's playing online, so the multiplayer DLC is pretty much a waste of money unless of course you want to use them during arcade mode, which is pretty boring. Through the Steam client, there is 59 achievements to collect, so if you're bored you can go throughout the game and find the achievements you haven't gotten through the campaign mode already. The sound in this game was great to me because of the fact the storyline was pretty much like something you'd see in the theaters. The sound was nice and crisp, and weapons sent off their bangs and booms, walls had to crumble and fall, and it all sounded pretty realistic, like something you'd see in a movie. Because this game is mostly like watching a movie, you won't be hearing any music unless by walking by bars or radios in the game. The sound was great in this game, and who needs music anyways for a game like this? The graphics in this game are pretty solid, and with high-end cards you get really good frame rate in this game. The characters look pretty realistic, the buildings look realistic, the lighting effects are pretty amazing as well. And you'll get to a part at the ending of the game where it shows what the lighting effects are all about. The only part that I thought was funny is when you give a headshot to an opponent, you can't see the violent act on your enemy opponent after the headshot was given, because it's censored out. The biggest parts of this game were the graphics and the story. The gameplay wasn't too bad, even though you get the odd glitching with trying to dodge, but I found it fun up until I beat the game. There's pretty much nothing to go back to when the game is beaten, other than achievements. The multiplayer is pretty much dead, and the arcade mode was pretty bland and looked like another thing for the company to throw in the game because of how short the game is. Oh, and yeah, I didn't mention about how short the game is, which is pretty short. You can probably beat this game under a few hours. The only reason why you continue the game, of course, is to see the beautiful, amazing graphics and the well-done story. There's 4 difficulty settings in this game, from easy, medium, hard, and extreme. I only played on easy difficulty, so I can't really explain how hard the game is, but I can only imagine for those who play games at a higher difficulty will find this game pretty hard. There is a good selection of weapons in this game, but the DLC weapons can't be used in single-player mode, along with the maps, and of course multiplayer masks, making the DLC a bit of a disappointment. Well, it's time to give this game a score out of 10, so I'm going to give this game a 7.0 out of 10. Yes, there was plenty of disappointments, but the story and graphics were pretty top-notch. I never played the first one, but I heard people were disappointed in it. And if it was that bad, maybe this game will change their minds about Kane and Lynch. Also, the controls may have been poor with trying to dodge from bullets, but it doesn't mean it wasn't playable. You just get more frustrated. If you want to give this game a try, you can download the demo from Steam, so head over to www.steampowered.com to activate your account and download the demo. Well, I guess there's not much more to talk about for this game, so I hope you enjoyed the review and come back again to see another game reviewified. Thank you and goodbye.